Protesters flooded streets, demanding President Yoon Suk Yeol resignation after a long night of military and civilian show of force in South Korea from 11 p.m. on Tuesday night and almost throughout entire early morning night of Wednesday, when 190 lawmakers from opposition political party, including 18 from the president political party, jumped fences to convey important and urgent parliamentary meeting after President Yoon Suk Yeol declared martial law in the country and ordered massed martial law troops with rifles to invade the National Assembly of the fourth Asia's largest economic country to stop the lawmakers. But the soldiers met a stiffer civilian barricades who engaged the soldiers with fire extinguishers at the National Assembly complex and held them back until the lawmakers successfully held the plenary session and voted to outlaw the president's martial law declaration. Videos posted online showed thousands of South Korean protesters held a candlelight vigil and rally in downtown Seoul streets against President Yoon Suk Yeol, who has been in office since 2022, to resign. Protesters held up signs that read, "Step down President Yoon Suk Yeol," as people and lawmakers attend a rally in Seoul, the South Korea capital, according to Reuters international news agency. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol had on Tuesday declared martial law, vowing to eradicate shameless pro-North Korean anti-state forces and restore order. Martial law was last declared in the country in 1979. Soon after the declaration, protests broke out in Seoul and thousands gathered at the National Assembly, with South Korea's main opposition party lawmakers and some ruling party lawmakers jumped fences and tussled with security forces so they could vote to overturn the law. According to Reuters, thousands of demonstrators gathered outside the parliament where there were minor clashes with police and military. Nigeria Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has said that there is no plan to cover up a crime of some police officers, including a lawyer policeman in charge of legal department, when in 2023, the police officers allegedly conspired together and stole 43.1 million naira out of the recovered monies from a fat cargo worker at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. IGP, in a statement issued on Wednesday through the Force Public Relations Officer, Oluwiwa Adejobi, said the hearing officers face possible dismissal and criminal prosecution for theft and conspiracy. According to the press release, the Nigeria Police Force has noted with concern the recent allegations circulating in the media, suggesting that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, is shielding a cartel accused of smuggling suspicious new banknotes from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The NPF categorically refutes these claims, condemning them as baseless and orchestrated attempts to tarnish the IGP's reputation and the integrity of the force. The incident in question, which occurred at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on August 26, 2023, has been thoroughly investigated. The officers involved, DSP Peter Ejike, a lawyer in charge of Zone 7 Legal Section, Inspector Eken Edwin, Inspector Esther Okafor, and Sergeant Salabi Kayode, all attached to the Zone 7 headquarters, were found culpable and sanctioned appropriately. These officers, led by Inspector Esther Okafor on the instruction of DSP Peter Ejike, unlawfully arrested Andrew Eja, an employee of FAD Cargo Nigeria Limited, who was conveying the cash sum of 74,950,000 naira on behalf. It is no longer news that President Joe Biden of the United States of America, USA, on Sunday granted his son, Hunter Biden, full and unconditional state pardon just the next day after US President-elect Donald Trump picked Kash Patel as next Director of Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, with President Biden accusing the judiciary of playing to the gallery of his political opponents to have selectively and unfairly prosecuted his son, Hunter, with a view to break him and his family. President Joe Biden, who had lost two sons to death, said the judiciary was biased not to allow the negotiated plea bargain in the case of Hunter, same way the judiciary had permitted plea bargain in other cases of tax evasions, gun charges similar to that of Hunter Biden. President Joe Biden, who had in several occasions said he will not grant presidential pardon to his son, Hunter, said he believes Americans would understand his Sunday decision to grant Hunter pardon he described as someone who have suffered selective and unfair prosecution, sober for over 5 years simply because he's the president's son. Adding, the judiciary could have been fair enough if the judge had permitted plea bargain. In a swift reaction, Newsweek reported that the special counsel in Hunter Biden case, David Weiss, objected to the dismissal of Hunter Biden's tax charges as he pushed back on President Joe Biden's claims that his son was politically, selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Weiss said, "Never has been any evidence of vindictive or selective prosecution in this case." Weiss objected to the dismissal of Hunter's tax case in a legal filing where he argued there was no legal precedent for dismissal of an indictment, only the punishment. A pardon does not blot out guilt or expunge a judgment of conviction, Weiss said. It also does
bringing you the news in a more digital way.